Good afternoon and welcome to our Spheric State of the Nation. Today I'm going to have a special guest. He's based in Nigerian, based in United Kingdom. And also he is the CEO and founder of Ben Television, the first ethnic satellite channel, Black African based in Europe. And also he's a mentor, I mean to say, and also a leader, and also a management expert and media specialist. Before I bring my guests, for those of you that are joining for the first time, do not forget to follow us on our social media handle. On our social media handle on Facebook, it's official at Aspheric, on Instagram Aspheric News, on Twitter Aspheric News, and also on our YouTube page is Aspheric TV. Please do not forget to subscribe and also click on notification button. That will help you to get a notification whenever we're on live. Read us anytime you're available, and also click on our website www.asfericnews.com. asfericnews.com. To join us today conversation, if you are watching us from UK, Europe, US, and Nigeria, to comment and make a contribution, please do not forget to call on our line +234 809999 8117. I repeat, +234 809999 8117. We'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll have our guests on the show. Welcome to have you, sir.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, subject to the location of the viewers that will be joining this interactive conversation.
Here in Nigeria is good afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah. So my audience, today we have a special guest, Alistair there. Before I begin my interview with you or my conversation with you, as a media practitioner, could you just give us a view or highlight of your experience?
Well, thank you very much. From my own beginning, in the sense that I am not somebody who is coming from the media background. I actually study agriculture in Nigeria, and then thereafter moved to Europe for the purpose of probably going into sport, becoming a footballer and all that kind of thing, to do well for myself and for my dear country. And the stories and the news all about black people is committing crimes. And I thought definitely Nigeria is not a criminal country. The black people, as been portrayed by the Western media, is really not good for our image, either as African or as Nigerian. And I thought maybe I can change the narrative of the stories affecting the black people. And by so doing, I started doing a lot of research and to see what we can do to change the stories about our own people. And that is what led me actually to go into the media industry. And then as I continued to do the research, check around, I then found out there is no black media outfit that represent the yearning of our African people, be so Nigerians. And from there, basically, I did apply, and then I learned on the job by launching the first ethnic-oriented television satellite channel in Europe that represents in the Nigerian interest and the black perspective, in the sense that yes, we may have black media practitioners, black people on television, but the fact is we do not have a UK-based television until the arrival of this young Nigerian who then went into that industry head-on to launch the first black-oriented satellite television that represent the yearning of our own genre and the kind of program that we present to the European around the world and to our own African people in the diaspora.
Thank you so much. let me begin to ask you these questions. I know as a media practitioner, you've been watching closely what is happening in Nigeria. 2023 general election is around the corner. We just have less than 8 to 9 months to that election. What is your general overview in Nigerian politics today?
Well, thank you very much. I will have a short background in saying that one has been monitoring in our country for a very, very long time. As a former diasporan executive and as a former leader of the Nigerian Diaspora Organization, NIDO, it allows us to gauge and examine those who have been yearning to become leaders in our country from the local level to the state level and at the national level. And for the last decade, as the Nigerian diaspora, apart from the remittances that we have been contributing to support family well-being in the tones of more than 20 billion on a yearly basis, it allows us well to say, well, we do not just want to contribute remittances, but we want to participate in terms of national development of our dear country. And as we look into that, it allows us well to say, what can we do beyond just supporting, presenting papers for policy idea, giving strategic thinking and ideologies to our leaders, but likewise, maybe we need to participate in the only way that people become elected in our country, which is through being partisan. So at the end of the day, as somebody who has been passionate about my dear country, just like many other 100 and 1,000 and million people, it permitted me and my own team to go into the politics of Nigeria by running a movement to sensitize the Nigerian people about looking out for the best candidate, the best leaders within individual political parties. Be whatever party you belong to, look out for the quality and competent leaders that you should support who will end up having the ticket of that political party. So we run that movement in Nigeria called Yes Movement, and we went from village to village sharing this ideology, and from there people were inquiring, what more can we do? And that again led us to, from A to Z, to launch and register a political party in Nigeria. It is sad that the party was registered just a few months before the election, and in the justice of equity, you will know that Nigerians or somebody does not stand for the first time to be elected. Even our dear president didn't start his nomination and becoming a candidate and winning an election on the first attempt. He has to go through the fourth time before becoming the president of Nigeria. So it is sad that a party is registered within 3 months, and because they didn't win an election, and suddenly then they were deregistered even within the period of 1 year. So I have been, and with other people, especially Nigerians in the diaspora, monitoring, seeing what is happening in our country, and we want the best for Nigeria. And that is why it's not just about remittances. We participated, and it is good to see many Nigerians in the diaspora are coming back home to participate in the election process in the country.
All right, so will I really say that you're a presidential aspirant?
Was a presidential candidate.
Oh, okay. Which platform, please?
It was a Yes Party.
Yes Party.
Yes Party. Basically, we're saying, do we want good quality life for Nigerians? The answer is yes. Do we want a better Nigeria? The answer is yes. We want good security? Yes. You want the best of them, be it basic? The answer is yes. So we want a Nigeria that works for the majority of Nigerians, because there's nothing that is 100% perfect in any aspect of life. So long you get the majority of people recognizing what you're doing, the majority of people agreeing with your policy and idea, then you are winning. So for our own is to see the best that we can do and to support the best, and in terms of majority of numbers and voters, then every political party has a chance.
As a former presidential candidate, what makes you think that you are best qualified for Nigeria? And also, what makes you think that you have the qualities that it takes to change this current situation in Nigeria, especially the insecurity?
Wow. Well, surely enough, one has to see where one is coming from. I tend to disagree with people that anybody can stand for chairman of a local government, state governor, and or stand for presidency. But as I narrated earlier, even the incumbent president right now did not win election on his first attempt. And nobody in many other aspects of life wins a project, initiative, game, match in the first attempt. Not in many situations does that happen. So somebody has to go into a process before you become the winner. At the time that we joined in 2019, the reality is if we have the same backing that other candidate actually got, there is no doubt that we could have won an election. But let's look at it and say, what is the experience that somebody is bringing on board? As the first black person to launch the first media global satellite in my own journey in Europe and sustain it for a decade without any government support, even the major television outfit here in the United Kingdom, for example, I've been supported by the UK government. So to run something for the black community and the black people, yes, independently for a decade, to expose the quality of our nations and to expose the beauty and the opportunities on the African continent to the world, yet independently, definitely you would say somebody knows something that they are bringing to the table. At the end of the day as well, as a former chairman of Nigerian and diaspora, dealing with all the various ethnic groups that are outside the country, more than 10 to 14 million of them, again, qualify one to stand for an elected position if so desired. Apart from that, doctor, you have to look and say, well, many of the people who are actually standing for election in Nigeria are not technically and physically self-made. Even minister is telling you that he's building houses and stuff like that. He's not building these houses with his own generated personal money. It is allocated to him from the federal government or the state governor. If a governor is telling you that he's building roads, he's not using his personal money. He is being put there for him to build road and provide good services to the citizens of that state. So when somebody is standing telling you this is what I do, not from his resources, from his own pocket, then for me, I respect them for doing it, but I do not qualify them like a professional photographer that has to go to beautiful and ugly places, take pictures, and then turn them around to create stories. That is using his brain, that is using his intellect, and that's using their skill. Nevertheless, as I said, you have to respect them for trying to do what they are doing, but I will not quantify them to be skillful, even like Amuson that smashed the 110 hurdles. That is personal sacrifice to become a gold and world record holder. That is two different ideologies. So I actually respect people that are self-made than those that are made by all of us, taxpayers or owners of the Nigerian resources. So there's a long way to go, but at the end of the day, you have to look and ask, what have these people created? What have they innovated? What have they manufactured? What have they pioneered independently? Not we're using our resources, not we're using our taxpayers' money, no we're using our allocation given to them on a monthly basis, but bringing it onto the table, say, this is what I have done independently of government or the public support. That I give credit to more than the other way around, sir.
Okay, before to my next question, poverty is on an increase, just as inflation here is in a double digits. Likewise, unemployment rate has risen dramatically. Do you think we are systematically breeding anarchy?
Has Nigeria, do we as a nation, do we have the resources to reduce the level of poverty? Sometimes we give this example of saying that there's poverty in Europe, there's poverty all around the world, there's unemployment around the world, there's corruption around the world, or what I call criminal activities around the world. It's absolutely true. But the difference is, if you commit a crime in America or in the United Kingdom or in Europe, you know what is going to happen to you within days. And the system will fish you out within days, and they will deal with you within days. And if you have to go to prison, if you have to pay a fine, it will be done independently, not because of who you are. That is not what we have in Nigeria. So there's a massive difference. So if people should not be at the level of suffering that they are going through, then the real delivery would be for them not to go through that pain and suffering that they are going through. Yes, there's poverty in the country, but do we have the resources to reduce the level of poverty rate in the country? And the answer is yes. Do we have people who have been given the resources to reduce that level of poverty, either by creating jobs or by creating training that allow them to become self-employed? The answer is yes. Do they account for that resources that was given to them to justify that there is a number of increase of these people who are now self-made? The answer is no. We do not have that data. So they will come in and tell you that we have distributed, we have given, we have allocated, but at the end of the day, as you mentioned, the statistics then shows that actually there is more people out of job, there's more people suffering, the level of poverty is increasing, and yet the people who say they have delivered are standing, still claiming to have delivered, when we can see and feel that the answer is definitely negative, as been presented by the people who say they're doing well for us. So we have to ask a lot of questions. But as people who say, oh, sack somebody for not delivering, when you sack them, do they return the resources that has been allocated to them? Do for it? The answer is no. So sacking really sometimes has no effect. But here in Europe and across in America, if you're sacked from your job, the truth is it will be very hard for you to have to get another job, especially in the same industry, depending on the reason why you're sacked, reason why they relieve you of your job. That we don't have in our dear country. So until we begin to even just follow the law of the country, the constitution that we keep talking about, and allow law to become really effective, my dear country Nigeria will be much more better than she is presently.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Do you think that the current level of insecurity in the country will affect the 2020 general election?
Well, subject to what the president has given another instruction to the armed forces, to the chief of staffs in both platforms to deal with the insecurity situation in the country. Will it really affect it? I do not think, if there is the will, the truth will, the honest will, the power will, the political will, that it will affect 2023. It will not. But if there's no will, then it will affect the 2023, not to the point of saying there will not be an election in 2023. The umpire, which is INEC, has already indicated that anywhere that they cannot hold an election, or any result that has been affected negatively, then those results would be voided. So I can see it. I can see 2023 definitely happening, and I hope the armed forces all across board, from the Navy to the Army to the police to the Air Force, are able to deal with this criminal. They are criminals basically that are having a yeah, the criminals are having an upper hand, but it shouldn't be so.
All right, let me take it from there. When you mentioned the criminal having upper hand, but what do you think is telling the fight against the terrorism in Nigeria? Did you hear me?
No, what's the question again, sir?
I said, what do you think is telling the fight against the terrorism in Nigeria, and why is Nigerian military not deploying high-tech equipment like drones and also high-tech CCTV cameras and modern intelligence gathering equipment?
Well, let's be realistic. So many times, for those who have been following the stories and news, there has already been an indication that the Nigerian government has purchased CCTV for a very long time, for some years now. There has been a time that the minister indicated that he would like to have CCTV and go around the whole border of Nigeria to put the CCTV. Budget and money was put aside. We have heard where Nigeria has already purchased some of this equipment as well to fight terrorism and criminal activities in the country. Some of them were not delivered on time, some of them were delivered. Personally, we have been affected by brilliant pilots losing their lives, the young ones. So, but if we have to narrow it down to the crunch of the matter, which is the insecurity, it is a shame, and a big shame, that even the law enforcement officers are negotiating with the criminals to secure the release of their own family members. It is a shame, and one cannot even explain it, whereby people on a motorbike can terrorize the whole country and the center of unity and the center of power in Nigeria. It is a shame to look at them showing that they have the capacity, even though we may have instances that are collaborating with them, to have gone into a major, as a minister mentioned, the most secured building in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and released their members and took them back to their own zone. Yet, our own are yet to be released in the same fashion and style. So I believe that the Nigerian armed forces, they have the capacity. The other point is the will to execute. Even if you have to have a collateral damage sometime, it's bound to be. To flush out and to deal with all these criminal activities, be it terrorists, be it Boko Haram, be it armed robber, be it whatever it is that you may have a name for it. I believe that Nigeria has got the capacity. We just pray that they will have the will to implement it within the shortest time possible, so that we as Nigerians, home and abroad, will have a country that we will continue to be proud of. No matter what the challenges are, we're still proud of our country, because this is the country that gave us the DNA that we have, that we are showing in our own all the countries that we find ourselves, where we have a lot of Nigerians doing wonderful, wonderful things. If you follow the story, another wonderful Nigerian who lives in New York, just donated almost $1 million to his university in Nigeria. That is wonderful. So Nigerians are really doing beautiful and wonderful things. And I believe with the will and the strength of the government, Nigeria will, without any doubt, continue to leap high.
So, if I may ask you now, what is your view on Muslim tickets presented, the tickets which are presented by the ruling party?
Well, you see, every political party has their ideology and internal process. Every political party. The way I look at things, being honest on this, is let's look at justice, equity, what brings peace to the country, and what unites the country. As I said, every political party has their own choice. But let's look at it systematically and honestly. Before all these primaries, we have 4 things that we identify to move Nigeria forward. These 4 things are basically saying the president of Nigeria as of now is a northerner, is a Muslim. And by the way, I'm a northerner and I'm a southerner. I value my religion. So let's bear that in mind as we continue this examination. He's a northerner, he's from Daura. Half of my family are from Daura. He is Muslim. Justice and equity, as we have seen over the years, always show that when a northerner is, a southerner followed. When a southerner is, a northerner follows. Religiously, when a Christian leads, a Muslim follow. When a Muslim leads, a Christian follow. So the calculation basically then is, as even heard a former minister talking about, is it the best thing that the party could have presented? Well, the point is, number one, a Southern Christian should have been the person to come in 2023. Forget about the political party. A Southern Christian. Okay? If there's no Southern Christian, then a Southern Muslim. If there's no Southern Muslim, then a Northern Christian. If there's no Northern Christian, then a Northern Muslim. Now, basically, it means that you have to go through all this process to say you could not find any Southern Christian who justify, who has the competence to be the president. We are talking about national issue here. We're not talking about state level, right? Now, the political party that you just mentioned, who is in office right now, there's as many as 5, more than 5 candidates from the southern part of the country who are Christians. They didn't get it, but as I said, internal process of every political party their own choice. Now, if there's no Southern Christian, then it should be a Southern Muslim. Now you can say a Southern Muslim then emerged based on your question from the South. That's number two. So which means it's scale true. Then the next question would be, as equity has been for a very, very long time across the country, bear in mind that now a Muslim has got the slot, then it should automatically, this is no more now about legality, it's automatically it should have been a Christian. Why? Because Nigeria has been practicing this modality systematically for decades. That's the reality. And in the sense of where Nigeria is as of today, the point is we are not as united as we were yesterday. I mean, yesterday, not just last month, not last year, not last regime or last term of an administration. Okay, so every day something new emerges in my country. But as I said, it's an internal choice of that political party. But then if you now want to look at as many political parties that have presented their candidate both for presidency and the vice president, 90% of them have that mixture of North and South, Muslim and Christian. But in their own wisdom, they felt that the Muslim ticket would allow them to retain power from 2023. But again, as we said, that is just one party out of 18 political parties in the country that have the capacity of presenting their candidate for the election. It's a choice. I am responsible to millions of people through my platform, through my own personal interaction with people on my own platform, to know what people are saying. So at the end of the day, as I said, Doctor, is for people to make a choice out of these 18 political parties. If you disagree with the Muslim ticket, if you disagree with the North, South, then you have another 17 political parties. So for those who totally disagree with that kind of ideology, you don't need to waste your resources talking about it. Focus on your own candidate and your political party, sell their ideology and sell your candidate, so that when 2023 comes, the best candidate with the best numbers of followers will emerge the president of Nigeria come 2023. But one thing for sure is, it's not going to be as usual. INEC is going to reign. INEC is going to reign on people, on all these candidates and political parties. One good word of advice is, any party that started campaigning now, be rest assured, somebody will complain, and if they prove it that you started or broke one of the electoral bill that has been amended, you're not going to win. So I hope that INEC of today is stronger and will give us a wonderful and credible election 2023.
Okay, so before we continue, I would like to show you some videos, especially some opinion of Nigerians, because recently the Independent National Election Commission have already concluded the registration exercise, which was extended by 2 weeks, and some Nigerians are still reacting, and also they are insisting that like they should give them more time to exercise their power. That will be franchise, and this more of these people are more of youth. So let's show you a video of what some Nigerians are saying about INEC.
Nigerians are yet to register and may be disenfranchised if INEC doesn't yield to pressure by some persons that are still calling for an extension. Some Nigerians spoke to Aspheric TV and they called on INEC to extend the time stipulated for registration. Others faulted Nigerians for not obeying instructions and failed to register when they were supposed to.
So INEC stopping this thing when it's almost about 8 months to election, I mean, it doesn't really make any sense to me. So I feel like INEC should extend the date, because I really think, because the way youths are agitating and the way they are solidly behind a particular candidate, if they are not allowed to vote, I feel like there might be civil unrest, after the maybe before and after the elections. So INEC has, I think, the moral duty and responsibility to allow to extend these dates. At least we have almost eight months. I mean, what is there in extending it to almost the day we want to have election, or maybe a week before the election? I mean, we have the resources, we have all of these things to be able to cater for this thing. So why are they trying to stifle people's ability to exercise their civic duty?
Well, I just said yesterday that INEC has put an end to PVC registration, and some of us, we have not gotten ours yet. So I'm appealing to we the youth. We are appealing to INEC to please extend it at least to the end of this year, so some of us will be able to get ours.
For me, I think the major problem is we, the ordinary Nigerians, because we had all the time to register. The problem is just the normal Nigerian kind of a thing. We always like doing things as in when it's tight, that's when everybody wants to start running to do. But we had all the time to have had registered, but we're just reluctant about it. And now everybody is saying INEC. So sometimes we too should take the blame. That's just it.
So to me, if they extend the registration like 1 month, I would be very happy. Like me, I do my own last 2019. For due to this, I know if you collect. Till now, I'm struggling to collect my own permanent voters card. I never fit. If we go to office, their office in 11, if you go there, you will see queue fighting up and down. How will you able to get this? But to say their polling units are money, or their collection center, their money. You are able to, if you go in the morning, but you will hope that anything 2-3 o'clock you will get your voters card and go back home.
Welcome back. This is Aspheric Set of Election. My guest, and for those of you that are joining us now, please do not forget to follow us on our social media handles: Aspheric News on Instagram, Aspheric News on Twitter, official Aspheric News on Facebook, then Aspheric TV on our YouTube channel. Do not forget to read content, breaking news on www.asphericnews.com. To my guests, are you on the opinion of the young man that said that Nigerians are always doing things anyhow, and whenever it is hot, you see them there? What's your view, sir?
Well, I think what makes Nigeria unique is our characters. It's our do attitude, is our strength of accomplishing things if given the opportunity. I see Nigeria as having the best of DNA, especially if it is well utilized in the right direction of whatever it is that we want to do as people. So he's right, but let's look at it as well that already right now we have more than 90 million voters or people that have registered to vote. That number on its own is enough. If, say, for example, if you have up to 80% turnout, then we're still talking about almost more than 70 million people who are going to vote in the coming election. So the number that we already have is massive, is big. And so let's just hope that at least maybe 50% of that number, which would take us to about 47 million compared to last time. And as I said, if we get 60 to 70% turnout based on 93 million people already registered, that would be big. And so the hope of Nigerians, especially those who didn't vote in the last election, is coming now for them to be able to go out and show who they stand for and what they want for this country called Nigeria.
So which presidential candidate has a very good blueprint on how to tackle insecurity? Since insecurity is a major problem in Nigeria.
Well, the one thing that you have to consider first is that the major political parties, the two major political parties have been in power since 1999 to date. The party in power blames the previous party for causing this problem that we have in the country. So basically, but then when you take away only few personalities within this incumbent government, you find out that more than 80% of the cabinets or the people that makes the structure of Nigeria in terms of appointment, elective position that they're holding, were both from the same political parties, the opposition and the party in office. So technically, they are all from the same regime. They are all from the same ideology. Nevertheless, now you can say you have a new focus-oriented political parties that are all emerging. Nevertheless, as well, you can say some of the candidates have been between these political parties, and some of them, based on what they have shared with us, is that when they could not find the ideology and the ideas and the concept of what they want to follow for a better Nigeria, they move to another platform in trying to achieve that. I'm not too sure there's yet any of the candidate as well that has come out with a strong blueprint of saying this is what they're going to do in terms of security and dealing with the insecurity in the country. But again, I classify security issues to be real classified, which means sometimes I do not want people to talk about security issue in the public domain. I would like them to see it maybe with a professional expert to tell them, because the same thing that you're sharing here, the person that you want to deal with is monitoring the same thing that you're sharing with the other people. So if you're telling me that now tomorrow morning you're coming to you're going to Garki in Abuja to deal with so and so, well, the people that they have in Garki will immediately tell them that they're coming to Garki and to do so and so. They move. So I really like security issues to be kept private, but at least on the other aspect of the competency of each candidate or each political party, let's hold them based on the thing that they have done in public domain that is meant for public consumption really, and let's see how their life has been, the offices that they have held, how accountable they have been, and then we can judge them based on those other things. But security, I always like it to be really something that is kept classified indoor, internally, and then for people just to begin to see things going down rather than making noise about it.
Right. So education has been a big concern for some months now. Recently, ABSU have to extended extra 2 weeks. I think about 2 weeks extra on their sit at home. But we have some response from Nigerians just to ask their opinion why its decision will continue, and some of them have the opinion. But I want you to watch the video, then I'll ask you my questions. The ASU video will be played for you, and their response, don't look at them, and it's also ask your questions. Answer the question, please.
At all, not that they will suspend it and resume later. No, what we need is a permanent solution, and I can assure the world that Nigerian students are going to continue to agitate. This is just the beginning. We are going to come out every day like this. If it means shutting this country down, if they don't open our schools, we'll close their offices. Honestly, we are tired of the back and forth they've been doing, because we believe that at the end of the day, we are the ones that are the victims. What do they have to lose? Whether they go on strike, they come to understanding that they are still being paid. They're still being paid, but we are the ones. Our house rent is counting. Our life keeps going because our age is not reversible. We have plans for our lives, and you keep calling on strike for reasons which we don't understand. There's nothing that cannot be resolved at the negotiation table. I believe it's because their children are not being affected by this directly. That's why many of them are handling this issue lackadaisically. Honestly, we are very, very grieved, and we are not ready to listen to any excuses. What we want is for our schools to be open. We want to go back to school. We want to learn. The government should prioritize education. I don't know what is going on between them and ASU, but we are not at that negotiation table, so we don't really care. All we want is call off ASU strike permanently. We don't want a suspension. We want the strike to be called off. If not, we'll disturb the peace. Honestly, no peace for them. If you want us to stay at home, we'll come out in the streets. The only option is for us to go back to school. That's the only thing that's going to keep Nigerian students off the streets. If not, we do the streets. We do outside. They are selfish. They are selfish. And after school,
is our right.
To be honest with you, ASU is a body on its own that cannot be scrapped, in the sense that they are a group of lecturers who are fighting and protecting their own interests. What I mean by their own interests is whatever you are fighting for something, we believe it's for a good cause, not another way around. So we believe what is their demand. Let them come up with the demand. Let the federal government see this demand that they are bringing up. Is it something that will impact the Nigerian educational system? If it is yes, so then let the needful be done.
Welcome back. This is Aspheric State of the Nation. And also, for those of you that join us for the first time, do not forget to follow us on our social media handles and also share our content. And also, we're here to give you a current update. To my guests, you have watched the video. These students are against these lecturers, and they are insisting that they must call off strike because they are vying for their own personal interest, things that benefit them. Their house rent is counting, their age is not on their side. They are insisting that the lecturers must go back to school, that they want to go back to school. What's your opinion on that? And if you are able to, like maybe anytime you become a president of Nigeria, what will you do different?
Well, thank God, at least on the last question, I'm a retired old man now. So my strength would be now to advise, mentor those who want to go into politics, the pitfall, the joy of it. Because to be honest, politics is about serving the people. It's not about accumulating wealth for you and your own family. It's about serving the people. I think Nigerian people and many of the African nations, but let's go back to Nigeria, they have lost the ingredient of serving the people. They have seen other people become wealthy by playing politics and becoming one of some of the richest people in our community in Nigeria. So really and truly, the politics and the democracy we're practicing is not the ideal, it's not the best way, and it's not the way that will sustain and build our dear country. Coming back on the ASU issue, the truth is, I'm privileged. I have kids, and my children, thank God, they've all done very well for themselves. But just like the young man mentioned, there are challenges that they have been facing for a very, very long time. Can Nigeria as a nation resolve this issue? The answer is absolutely right. When you have all this number of youth not being able to go to their place of studies, it's definitely increased agitation. It creates more situation whereby the challenges that the country is facing increases on a daily basis rather than reduce. Because at the end of the day, if they go back to their university, complete their degrees, it's not all of them that will get a job, but at least they have that qualification that will put them on a ladder to achieving something in life. My prayer is definitely, without any doubt, for the government to agree with ASU and for ASU to agree with government to find a solution. One just read recently as well, the ASU is talking about that they have not even been paid for some months now. Government responsible may say, well, you have not been paid because you're on strike. So all this effects has negative effect on the society, on the community, and on the nation, because it's like a web. It's like a spider web. It's connected, interconnected with different things that affect people from different angles. And again, we have to make sure that they do not end the strike just around the window of election, which then again now will end up disfranchising people who were supposed to vote in their local places and places that they have registered. All this thing we have to take into account. But do we have the will? That's one question. Do we have the resources to make sure that we don't suffer as a nation? Yes, we do. Do we have the people that can change the fortune of life of our own dear people? Yes, we do. But the question as well goes back to how many people in Nigeria, in Abuja, in Lagos, and other places can leave point A without worrying at all to point B. The bigger you are, the more concerned you are. The richer you are, the more worried you are. If we actually put our hands together and the willpower to change the narrative in our dear community, in our state and in our nation, we can achieve it because we have the people that have the intellect to do that. But it has to be done with justice, equity, peace of mind, and trying to make sure that we have unity in Nigeria.
Prior to now, there has been a glamour of forced restructuring in Nigeria. So my question to you now is, do you think if federal government power is reduced, the tension of becoming president of Nigeria will be solved?
Before restructuring, I always want to believe that the law of Nigeria, the constitution of Nigeria, is not being respected. So for me, if the law of the land, the constitution, a lot of people say the constitution is wrong. It's not been put together by Nigerian people. I want to ask the question that no, it is absolutely put together by Nigerian people. Unless we're saying the army who put it together, presented it to the Nigerian people are not Nigerian people because they're army officers. So there's no logic in saying it's not been put together by Nigeria. It's put together by the Nigerian army. And the Nigerian army has left the field for a very long time. At least we have been practicing democracy since 1999 uninterrupted, and it shouldn't be interrupted in any way. So for almost 20 plus years, our own elected House of Rep, senators, they could not in more than 20 years sit down and change the constitution where it is defective for 20 years. Come on, that's a shame. And so I'm not one of those that want to continue blaming somebody when they've given me the mandate. You bought a house, the house is defective, it's leaking. You bought it knowing it's leaking, it's defective. You have your money and you could not repair the roof, and now you're still blaming the owner who has already sold the house to you for allowing the roof to leak. But excuse me, you bought it knowing that it's leaking. You fix it. So people who are in the National Assembly not being able to fix all this issue, is either they don't know what to do before getting there, and when they got there realizing what it is and still do not have the mental attitude and willingness for the people to change the status quo. So it's not just about restructuring. I want to believe that if we honor the constitution, if we honor the law of Nigeria, Nigeria will still not be in the position she is right now as of today. She will be much, much more better. Because they say you have 10 people here, 5 come from the north, 5 come from the south, and yet you are making 7 from one region, the other from the other region. Then that's not justice, that's not equity, that's not looking for peace, that is not uniting the people. That is basically not for the thing that it is meant for. If you have a board and the board says you must have 20 people, 10 women, 10 women, 10 men, and yet you have 15 women and 5 men, that is not justice, that is not fair, that is not equity. That is making a presentation of what shouldn't be. So I don't want to blame people when you know what the law says. I don't want to blame anybody when we know what we need to do. So I blame those who are supposed to do it and yet not doing it.
Okay, so let's look at the 2023 general election. Since the 2022 electoral amendment come into effect, INEC has conducted 2 state gubernatorial election, Ekiti and Osun. Are you satisfied with the outcome of this election despite the accusation of vote buying?
Sometimes I want to look at it that when you're playing a football game or you're a sport person, a boxer, you try to monitor how your opponent fights, how he punches, southpaw and all that kind of thing. And the same way you have a game every Saturday for those who play, who follow the Premier League. You know what the teams are, and sometimes the coaches do not want to release all the names of their players or the tactics that they're going to play until just a few minutes before the whistle, before you know what it is. That goes back to the same way where we are. Osun, Ekiti. Ekiti has done their own. In true sense, yes, there's quite a lot of reports that said both were bought. But even in democracy, it is fair to say we can agree that we are all going to buy our vote between you and I, between the parties to say, right, all of us should go and buy our vote. It's democracy. solely the majority of the political party agree that we should all go and buy a vote. Okay, so it's a choice. We all agree that this is the way we want to play. But if it is illegal to buy vote, then INEC should not in any way honor any vote that is being bought with proof. Simple, right? So, for example, in 2019 and up to now, a political party is supposed to spend such amount of money to be elected. The political party at the end of the election were supposed to make a report to INEC. The political party is supposed to do so and so. Now, if I put INEC on the spot, how many parties actually honor that agreement? That's another issue. So, if you want to follow the law, then you can actually find out that most of these political parties that are in office actually did not, I repeat, did not win the election under fair bill of INEC, which means really they shouldn't be in office. But that's a story for another day. So when you now look at Osun, yes, INEC did a much more better job in making sure the vote counts, the vote are counted, because of course the electronic was brilliantly executed. And that's why we're saying that when it comes to the election, INEC will do a much more better job. So if people think that this is what they're going to do, well, I'm sorry. Even if you look at the so-called new numbers of people that have registered of recent, you find out that the zone that has the highest number of voters before this new reopening of registration for PVCs, you find out that the increase in registration is not up to 10% of the previous number that they have. Okay, if that zone actually has the highest population, the increased number should be like 20% in comparison to the other zones that have 15 to 20% increase based on their previous number of registered PVC owners. So what will happen as well in 2023 with the electronic system, you find out that many other people that have done double registration on the age will not be out to vote in 2023. And there will be more people from this new generation of people that have registered with their PVC that are going to vote in 2023. So the system for 2023 is going to be fantastic. It's going to be beautiful. And people that think that it's going to be like 2019, I'm sorry, it's not going to be like that. So Ekiti and Osun has given an example of what can be, especially Osun. And so it can only get better, I hope.
All right, so before I come on some of the content or videos that were captured from outside Nigeria, let's discuss about your programs for Nigeria. What is your agenda for the continent, and if you have opportunity, to either to lead any of the position in Nigeria, what will you do different with what we have?
Well, thank you very much. I think my passion definitely is working with the youth. That's why we do mentoring for people who want to go into business in their own different aspect of life, mentoring to coach and advise them on what they need to do, how come across our own life, be it in the political field, be it in entrepreneurship, be it in leadership, what we have learned. And so I would definitely want to work with the youth and continue working with youth and those who really seek knowledge. And because I continuously I'm seeking that knowledge on a daily basis. As I said, being a black person, launching the first black-oriented television in UK, in Europe, is not an easy thing. So I learn across board, I learn on a daily basis, and I'm grateful to God for that opportunity, and I'm still learning. So that would be my interest. And of course, then only a good manager will be able to identify good people that can do things for them. So I hope that as we continue to present ourselves, want to help our dear country, that our country will really recognize the people who are absolutely willing, not because of what they're going to gain. And we have thousands of them in the diaspora that are absolutely willing to contribute and support what's happening in Nigeria for the sake of supporting rather than for the sake of personal gain. So I would like to see Nigeria really benefiting from that. And again, one has to respect each person, wherever they're coming from, to know that the diaspora community are not coming in to take away food from other people's mouth. They're coming in to add value to Nigeria. They're coming in to add skills, knowledge, expertise that they have gained all across the world. Tremendous number of Nigerians all across board, and they're doing wonderful things. But again, one thing that some people will say, oh, Nigerians are in so place in the White House, in the House of Parliament. Technically, they have Nigerian DNA, but they are not Nigerian, because you can't hold a Nigerian passport and be given a job in these high skills places. So they are Nigerians Americans, which means they are more American than Nigerian. They are Nigerian British, meaning they are more British than Nigerian, and they're adding value to develop the host nation. And so if we have Nigerians all across this board, then at least Nigeria as well should gain from them, but you have to give them equal respect, just like the other nation. A top professional person will not just drop for the sake of dropping and yet loses the quality of their professionalism. I think if you allow them to flourish under this ethics, then Nigeria will be much more better off as well.
Okay, so the UK water well have a lot of security, and some of you that have lived in UK have vast experience and what happened in the UK. So what will really be your suggestion to Nigerian government in terms of transportation and waterway transportation, especially we have more than Lagos, the new also doing all of that. What will be your view based on your experience and what you've seen in UK?
About what you're just showing here is everything work, and which we have the capacity as well to replicate in Nigeria. This could have been Marina, this could have been Lagos, this could have been Lekki, this could have been, maybe somewhere even in Cross River State. Not that one. But the fact is, you can see things moving, and we have the capacity. We have the number of people that really are looking for tangible transportation means. We have the rivers. All we have to do is put the structure together that will handle all the things that we're seeing here. If this is Britain, Nigeria got her independence from the same Britain. So it means that if you have a child, your child we pray for our children to do better than we. If indeed we have a relationship with Great Britain, United Kingdom, England, as a colony in the 1960s, then we should have done better than United Kingdom by now if we are classified to be like a child and their children. So we have the capacity. And in terms of transportation, it's so sad as well. Right now we're going through a lot of stories and news of other road transport challenges, railway challenges, and even the air. Nigeria shouldn't be going through all these challenges across all board. So we must find a system that is accountable to the people, that is transparent to the people, so that our resources can be utilized. With every challenge that we're going through, it's affecting us as a nation, and by so doing, it's affecting us in our returns and investment. So we must create a platform where we assure ourselves, even within Nigeria, we can so much generate a lot of return and investment. This is here as well in the United Kingdom. This event is organized by a Nigerian in the diaspora. This is a polo event, I believe, Alexander Amosu, celebrating the uniqueness of Nigeria and bringing quality to United Kingdom. You can see it, all people from different diversity are here enjoying, but this has been put together by a Nigerian in the diaspora. So we have the capacity, we have the people,
but hold on,
we have the will.
Let me ask you, let me not put you off for play. If Nigeria and diaspora will organize all this in UK, why didn't you guys come and do it in Nigeria?
Very simple. If some what you are doing, they appreciate what you are doing. So Nigerians in the diaspora, without any doubt, they will go home and do the same thing and even better. But we cannot say actually they're not doing it, because they do. I mean, every July, Nigerians in the diaspora go back to Nigeria. to showcase their skill, their expertise by contributing and going to do, in fact, even charitable work. So we have the capacity, the willingness of saying, okay, let's come. How secure is the system? How secure is the neighborhood? How are companies willing to participate and support? So I see no reason why we cannot do it, and we would do it. And there, as I said, other people have been doing it in various aspects of life all across Nigeria as well. It might not have the leverage, the same leverage of media coverage, but the idea. But the more, the merrier. Rather than, as we're reading, some of our people are moving away from Nigeria because of one thing or another. But we can't all gain when the system really recognize and appreciate people that are adding value to the country.
I want to say a big thank you to you. But before you leave today, what would be a message as a presidential candidate of Yes Party? What would be a message to all the aspirants and Nigerians, and also Nigeria in general, and those in diaspora, on what they should expect in 2023 and how Nigeria should look like in the near future?
Well, thank you very much. As a former person that have done the morning, the afternoon, the night, the midnight meeting with all these political parties and candidates back in the days, one has learned quite a lot of things. Without being there, you will never know what it is. When people say, oh, somebody is standing, what does he know? Well, you have to ask yourself, did they stand, did they stood for one thing they believe in? Give them respect for doing that. They went in with their own resources to try to change the stories from negative to positive, from challenges to opportunities. So respect them for standing, for doing something. Then the other thing is, we are also talking about PVC. Yes, PVC is very important for you to have it, but if you don't use it, then it's of no good. So I hope the 93 million Nigerians that have registered, that have their PVC, that when election actually comes on due date, that they go out there and utilize their PVC. Please, it's not about selling your PVC. As I said, it's a democracy, and if the law allows you to sell your product, like opening a shop, then let it be so. But it is illegal according to the system. So meaning that you're committing a crime, and the crime has punishment. And we hope INEC will deal with anybody that commit a crime against humanity, against Nigerian. And of course, then we don't have aspirant now as such, we have the candidates. Now for the candidate, what are you really offering the people? What is your message? And let your message be clean, pure. Of course, in democracy, they always say you have to rubbish the other candidate in order for you to look good. What's the meaning of opposition? Opposition means that when you say it's raining, I can go out and try to convince people that it is not raining. Meaning I oppose what you're saying. If I say I'm going to build road, it's for the other person to say, no, he's not going to build road. He has to oppose me. Because if he agree with me, it means that I'm going to do it and he will not get the vote. But let's be logical. Let's think deep for the benefit of Nigeria, to make Nigeria a great country that she should be. And I wish Nigeria success, and I wish us more secure life and living. And even what you're just showing, this is the neighborhood street, I believe. And from this location is down to the Nigerian High Commission, which is down the road. Yes, it is down the street, exactly. So down the street where the Prime Minister is, and you can see people joyfully going there to look through the gate. That's the freedom of movement. In other places now, they will have the police and whatever will have come in and tell you move, go. But the system are different, the cultures are different, and so number 10, they allow people to pass by to see where the Prime Minister is, and just walking distance down the road from here, less than 3 minutes, is the Nigerian High Commission. So you see, as a nation, we are strategically positioned to be leaders, strategically positioned that if something happening in our country, we can have access straight to where it matters, where the Prime Minister is, and or where the cabinet members are, the ministers and all the people, and we can make our presentation to them as our partners diplomatically to see what we can do. So Nigeria has the opportunity. Nigeria can be that great nation. Nigeria should be that great nation. Nigeria should be peaceful for each and every one of us. As I tell people, I'm not trying to see my country in a better position for my grandchildren. No, I want to see Nigeria in a better position for me, because that's why I'm running. That's why other people are running. That's why other people are trying to present ideologies, strategy to make the country better. So we are hoping that we too, not just our sweat for other people to enjoy, but our sweat too will give us freedom, will give us peace, so that we move joyfully, peacefully, knowing that our country will be better than even the countries that we are seeing here in other places. So it is a golden opportunity for each and every one of us. Yeah, Great Scotland Yard is just a walking distance around the corner where the Nigerian High Commission is. So Nigeria is a great nation. Nigeria is blessed, and Nigerians are wonderful people. Truly, they are wonderful, and I appreciate God for making me one of them. But challenges, well, everybody has it. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having us, and thank you for your time. For those of you that are joining us, this is our spheric set of election, where we discuss issues and matters in elections. And do not forget to follow us on all our social media handle, official at Spheric News on Facebook, Spheric News on Instagram, Spheric News on Twitter, and our YouTube page. Do not forget to follow us on our YouTube page. And please kindly subscribe to follow us on our YouTube page. Please call on us or send us content if you have anyone, and for to tell your stories on +234 8099998117. Do not forget to read www.sphericnews.com. Join us on State of the Nation on Friday. On Friday, we will have Mr. Femi Awuni. Femi Awuni is a based journalist, media entrepreneur and communication consultant who based in Germany. He will be speaking on the role of Nigerians in diaspora and journalism in 2023 general election. Thank you and stay blessed.